Okay, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. It's a double disc, came out in 1974. Can we narrow it down? Can we pick out the tracks that I personally don't like as much and have one single disc? Will it work? We'll measure the time. We'll see if it can actually happen. Let's do it right now. All right, so welcome to this video. This is a fun little project. I'll admit the idea kind of sprung out of a video by Canadian Stud Muffin. He did a video about the White Album, which is a double album as well, and he wanted to narrow it down to one album. Now, unlike him, I think the White Album's great. I wouldn't touch it. Lamb Lies Down on Broadway by Genesis is too much. Now, I respect the ambition of Genesis. I think it's kind of cool that they did a double album, but I really think they could have narrowed it down. So let's look at all the tracks. And we're going to play just very short clips. The first 5 tracks all have a really great flow, and as a result, I have a check mark right there. And I think, too, for the band, it was probably easy to pick all these really strong tracks. The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, that's the album, sort of the main track, the first single, I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's the one I heard on FM radio back in the day. Real pure, true Genesis song, absolutely. Then it moves into Fly on a Windshield. It starts off, you know, it's sort of melding into the track, and it does linger a little bit, but it picks up at that one point and it just becomes a really amazing tune. Amazing tune, eh? I'm sure you'll agree. Then we got track 3, which is Broadway. And as you hear, it just jumps right into it. Again, it's a sort of a string of tunes, which is, you know, that's something that's really unique to Prog. So this is fine. I'm all right with this. There's no problems. Here, then we get into Cuckoo Cocoon, which is, I have a guitar lesson for this, by the way. I even did a right and left hand version. And that's a fantastic tune. We would not want to cut that. Okay, so track 5 is In the Cage. I've got a check mark on that. Again, the first 5 tracks are just fine. It's a really energetic piece. Gabriel's really spitting out those lyrics. It's got some awesome Tony Banks sort of his iconic kind of solos. Tony Banks is such an amazing keyboardist. I just love his stuff. Now we get to track 6, and this is my first X, and we're only going to lose about 3 minutes by getting rid of this track, but track 6 is The Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging. I'm sure you all remember how wacky and wonderful and fun it is, but hey, it's not necessary, I don't think. And I like the sense of humor. Again, I don't think the track should have been cut into the floor and disappear. I'd say release it as a bonus track album, just like this one. This was tracks that they took off of, oh, come on, brain. Anyways, you know, they took a couple tracks off an album, so they released it. Actually, there's 3 tracks on here. Pigeons, Inside and Out, Match of the Day. Okay, we're on The Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging. I guess that's the first track. We're going to say, yeah, let's cut that one for a bonus disc. Now let's go to track number 7. 7 and 8 are good. 7, in fact, is an absolute one of the great songs by Genesis, in my opinion. By the way, there's this amazing cover of this song. If I think of it, I'll put it in the description below. Of course, an amazing track, Back in New York City. We're not going to get rid of that. So now we've got Hairless Heart. And which one is that, you say? Let's see here. Very Steve Hackett. It's got Steve doing the volume foot pedal. Very wonderful, epic kind of a slow, beautiful song. And it's got the beautiful classical guitar again. I'm a big Hackett fan, so you know, anything with Hackett that really features his stuff with Genesis, I'm always partial to. We've got track number 9, and as you can see, I put an X there, Counting Out Time. And that's a 3.5 minute song, so we're going to free up some more time that way. Androgynous tones, I love you. For some reason, that lyric always sticks in my head. So anyways, I actually X'd that one out. It's a good tune, actually. It's probably one of the better ones on the bonus disc that I would suggest this should have been on. And it's kind of fun, you know, it's kind of light. So that's fine. Now we go into track 10, Carpet Crawlers. We're not going to cut this, no way, man. This song is, again, another classic diamond of Genesis. I think Carpet Crawlers is one of those tunes that have brought a lot of people into Genesis too. When you hear that song on the radio, you go, wow, maybe they don't know Genesis and they go, what is that song? That is amazing. Carpet Crawlers, a real classic. I love that one so much. And now we're on track 11. Still doing lots of check marks, as you can see so far. Great introduction to the song. Classic Steve Hackett. Oh man, I'm. Of course, there's that wonderful chorus, great chorus, kind of a slow and passionate kind of, and then it has its slow parts too. So you need that. You need to have your slow parts in an album. You can't have it all going at 90 miles per hour down the highway. Okay, so now we're at Lily White Lilith. This one was borderline for me, but I thought I'll give it a check. But it could be, if we needed to get rid of one more track, probably this one I would want to put it on the bonus disc. The chamber was in confusion. You see what I mean? It would be hard to take this track off. Next we've got track 13. Wow, 13, just think of it. Usually an album might end at 13. I mean, that might be already a long album with lots of medium and shorter song lengths on it so far. So The Waiting Room, we've got an X on this one. This is well, you'll remember this one. This is what I was talking about, eerie. Oh ho ho ho. Now actually this track, to give it credit, even though it has some eerie stuff and sort of wacky kind of bad drug trip kind of feel to it, it does get cool at the end there. Great work by, I would say Phil Collins is kind of the star of this track. Listening to him play the drums is just so great. It sort of captures, you know, the kind of drum tracks he always puts down are always great. Let's see, that was track 13. There, we just freed up almost 5.5 minutes right there. Next we've got Genesis Anyway. Beautiful, beautiful track. Wonderful track. Yeah, we don't want to get rid of that one. That's a great one. Here comes a supernatural anesthetist. Great track. Nice performance, vocal performance. I love all the guitar work by Hackett, so yeah, that one's got to stay. That one's got to stay. Then we got track 16. It's called The Lamia. Again, I got a check mark there. Face the smallest motion. Here beside him, he trusts in empty boats. Great track. Really strong songwriting. It's a strong song. Don't want to get rid of that one. Don't want to lose that one. That is The Lamia. Now we're on to track 17 and track 18. The next two tracks, we've got X's here. We've got a 3-minute freeing up and an 8-minute freeing up. Silent Sorrow and Empty Boats. Again, to me it's a very Hackety kind of a tune. It sounds like something from a solo album. Would be great on a bonus disc. And maybe, you know, I'm almost changing my mind here. I'm almost thinking, you know, that would be not too bad to keep on the album. But we'll keep it as an X for now, just to see what the timing is looking like. Next, track 18, Genesis, The Colony of Slipperman. Remember this one? Oh yeah, that's classic Genesis. No. Not classic Genesis. It's kind of very experimental. It's got a good part there, doesn't it? Yeah, this is all really good. Really great drum work. But you know what? Even after all these years since it came out and I've been familiar with the album, that song never comes to my mind. Never. It's just, yeah, it can be cut for the bonus disc, okay? Now 19, Ravine. Getting near the end. And as you'll notice at the end here, I've got a lot of X's. Okay, so we've got Ravine here. Lots of wind. It's a windy track. Woo. Get your coats on, it's windy. There we go. It's a track of wind. We can do without that. We free up a few minutes there, a couple minutes at least. Now we've got A Lamb Lies Down on The Light Dies Down on Broadway. This reminds me of when the Beatles redid, what's that one track? They did it again twice, and the second time they did it, they sort of did it a slow kind of a Beach Boys version of one of their songs. Just sort of, maybe the producer George Martin said, you know, let's try a different kind of version of the song, and then we'll pick the better one. But they ended up releasing both, and of course the original is always the better one. It seems to me that it was an interesting slowdown, though. I don't think this really works so well, slowing down Lamb Lies Down on Broadway and then kind of changing it a bit. You know, interesting experiment, but it sounds like just an experiment to me. It definitely can be cut from the album, put it on the bonus disc. And then we got 21. I've X'd this as well. It's called Riding the Scree. This one has some great keyboard work on it. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit experimental. Tony Banks is doing some really cool stuff. It's got a different vibe. It's great, but not great enough like this album deserves. Now we're on almost the last track. This is track 22, The Rapids. Let's see if you can remember this one. Ads. Yeah, you know, I just totally forgot this song. Didn't stick in my memory at all. I like the 12 string. Reminds me of Rush 2112 though. Anyway. So there's a reason why they put it on as the second last track. Now the last track gets a check mark because it really sums up the album. I love this. This is very classic Genesis for me. And I think it finishes the album off on a really, really strong send-off. It's sort of like you're in a boat and Peter Gabriel and the band are there. They loaded you up into this little canoe or whatever, and they say, here you go, and they push you off. It's like a push-off. It's a send-off. This song is really, yeah, all right. Great drum work. Very soaring, very positive, uplifting. I don't know what the lyrics are. I'd have to look at the lyrics because sometimes there's a real contrast. You know, you think it's an uplifting song and then you study the lyrics and it's actually kind of a dark or something. But to me, the vibe is very positive. So there you go. That's the album for me as I would do it. Let's now measure what we managed to shave off. The full album is 94 minutes about, and that's 2 discs, right? Usually each side has about 20 minutes, so we're aiming for about 45 minutes. 9 tracks that I deemed unessential to this album. That leaves 14 songs. Ooh, this sounds promising. So I've trimmed 9 songs. To calculate the total here, it adds up to 35 minutes and 10 seconds. So now the album is a grand total of 59 minutes. Ooh, 59 minutes. Oh, that's too much. Oh no. I only managed to get 35 minutes off of there, eh? And we want it to be 40 minutes? That means we gotta trim 20 minutes? I don't know. I can't do it. There's no way I'm gonna be able to trim 20 minutes. It can't be done. The conclusion is, couldn't do it. We could have gotten rid of one side, no problem. 35 minutes we could cut. But it's still an hour of music. Wow, how do you release an hour of music? In the day of CDs, you can do quite easily. Yeah, CDs, maximum 80 minutes, so yeah, no problem. It could have been released as a single CD, but it couldn't have been done on vinyl, and of course this was 1974, so the conclusion of the matter is they can't make it less than a double album. It has to stay a double album, but in the day of CDs, it could have been done. What do you think? What's your thoughts on this? I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I thought I could do it. But I guess that shows you that The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway is really an amazing album, even though it's got some stuff on there that could easily be trimmed, in my opinion, 30 minutes of it, which is quite a bit of music. But if you're on a CD player, you can just skip tracks quickly, one to the next, or burn your own of all the tracks that you just like, or I guess nowadays they make a playlist, right? I guess that's what you can do. So there you go. That's the video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that, and leave your comments below. What tracks do you think you would have kept along on this album, and which tracks you think should be cut? Do you agree with the tracks that I cut? Do you disagree? Leave some comments below. Okay, bye now.